Play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Mike, I've been thinking, our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essink.
All right, welcome into the Fitness Fanatics. It is Sunday, April 6th. Welcome. It is our 3-year anniversary show today, so we have been on the ticket for 3 years, 156 Sundays now, and we've probably only missed about 6.
Not very many.
Not very many. So a couple shows we missed. I think we had to do like 2 or 3 replays. We've live streamed in when we were in Baltimore. We've had Kelly and Crystal fill in for us. So yeah, almost 3 years of guests and stories and life-changing stories.
Did one on Easter once.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're open Easter.
Yep.
There you go, Mom and Dad.
Well, Sundays. That's when your show is on Sunday. Yep.
That's right.
Well, I wasn't home in Arlington. Had a Fitness Fanatics on an Easter Sunday.
Did we do?
That is.
We do it on Easter.
I think 1 year we did it for some reason.
If the studio's open, we'll have class. I was gonna say we'll have
we'll have class.
We'll have the show, but I know for an absolute fact that we have said every time that if ours is the only show on, then no, don't do a show on Easter.
Yeah, that is true.
Right.
You guys never keep me here at Will saying we're doing the show.
No,
Yeah,
try
that's
to
fine.
throw us under the bus.
It's fine.
Well, what's happening in 2 weeks?
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. All right. So 3-year anniversary show. We have an awesome guest. Brian Klein is going to join us all the way from New Jersey. This might be our first guest from the Eastern time zone. Maybe we had some from a little behind.
We were in the Eastern
we were
time
on the
zone
Eastern time zone. It's our second guest.
Yeah.
So Brian actually is the CEO of Fit Franchise Brands, which is kind of what Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is under. So he's kind of like our boss. So hopefully we have a lot of listeners today and have a good time. We'll have a good time with Brian. He'll be up with us here at about 9:30 after the first segment. Bubba, one of our members from Iowa and listener of the show, guest on the show, texted me and said,
well, I guess he was a guest.
Their cross-country team went up and did a 5K in Minneapolis, like the Gophers 5K or whatever. And he texted me and he said he beat PJ Fleck in the 5K.
Pretty cool.
So he was pretty proud of that.
I'm surprised he even ran it.
I know.
That's actually pretty surprising.
We need to get Matt Rule to run this 5K. I'm going to be putting some pressure on.
I mean,
if PJ Fleck can run the 5K, then Matt Rule can run the 5K.
I had kind of flipped those.
Right? You think?
Sure.
Yeah.
It is surprising that he was out there, but that's pretty cool.
We got to make it happen.
Fleck seems like one of those guys, though. He's like a Dan Campbell, or he's one of those coaches that's going to like do the workouts and stuff.
Well, it looks like Matt Rule's looks like he's lost a few pounds. I think I've not watching on his press
train
conferences.
for a 5K. That's a great
That's
way
right.
to.
I'm gonna message Keith Zimmer and tell Keith that we want Matt Rule out there running with us.
That'd be cool.
If PJ Fleck can do it, Coach Rule can do it. Right? We don't want to be one up by Minnesota. So we're gonna work on that.
Was it so Bubba beat him, but did he find out later, or like was it close?
Oh, I don't know. He didn't say. He said they did say as they were crossing the finish line, the MC at the event said, "This is the only 5K that you'll cross at the 50-yard line." And he Bubba wanted to be like, I beg to differ because
I'm pretty sure
Nebraska
it's the
does
50. Whatever. It doesn't it's on the field. I don't. Okay, so then Nebraska road race, we could finish on the 47-yard line and say we're the only race that ends on the 47-yard
line.
Whatever.
I don't know. It's just a weird claim.
I know.
Weird
thing to say at the end there.
Yeah.
Well,
weird flex.
Like, all right.
And did you fact check this? Because I feel like they just
like on this
made
field.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. But anyway, so yesterday we went down to Kansas City. My son and I, Ben, went to the Orioles-Royals baseball game. It was our 6th game we've seen in person, and the Orioles are now 5-1 in person. And I really hope Ben can bring some of that good luck to a Husker football game someday. We seem to have it when we go to the baseball because Friday, the Royals just smacked them around. They beat them 8-2 on Friday night. And then the game we're at, the Orioles won 8-1.
Breaking news, Bubba said he had already crossed the finish line when they announced PJ Fleck.
Oh. So. Did you? Okay.
Sorry, he commented on Facebook.
Oh, breaking news. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a beautiful, well, it was not beautiful. It was nice weather. We didn't avoid any rain. I know people wanted some Denny's updates. We drove by the Denny's that burnt down 2 years ago. Last year, it was still a pile of rubble.
Yeah, is it still a pile?
Nope.
Oh, they're reconstructing?
Nope, they've paved over it.
Oh, it's the end of Denny's over there.
So they've put concrete down. There's no more remnants of the Denny's. It's completely gone. So I know Brent was texted last week and wanted an update. So there is your Denny's update. It is totally gone. No more remnants of it. And that's that with the Denny's.
Yep. For those who don't know.
Yeah, for those who don't know, when we went to the Orioles-Royals series 2 years ago, the Denny's burned down right outside of our window.
Hotel window. Middle of the night.
Middle of the night. The fire alarms were going off in the hotel room. We just weren't really sure what was going on. Our son, Ben, was shouting at Alexa to turn his alarm off because he thought it was his alarm. Alexa was giving him his alarm. He's like, Alexa, off. Alexa, off. And so we weren't really sure what was going on. I was kind of like, wow, because I thought I went over by the heater, which was by the window, and it was kind of warm. And then I opened the curtains, and the Denny's is just ablaze right outside of our window.
Like your whole hotel room was like orange.
Yep, all orange, just lit up.
For the fire.
So we had to go outside. We were outside for about 90 minutes, just waiting as they're trying to put this out. And then we got the all clear. They're like, well, we can put you in a different room. I'm like, no, we'll just go right back to our room. So it was still kind of a blaze when we went back to sleep. But
nice little ember fire. Fall asleep.
It was, it was bizarre. I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
But
and it was kind of that Denny's was kind of like an iconic place, right? Because it was right across the street from the stadium or whatever.
Calling the Denny's iconic.
Well, I'm just saying for people who went to those games.
Yes, who went to the Chiefs.
Yeah, people would walk. Yeah, it was across the street, so people would walk over after.
I thought you were just a big fan of Denny's there for a second.
I do miss Moons Over Miami.
They have Denny's in Omaha.
Okay. Anyway, no, that is not. But it is. I think if anyone's been to as a regular going to Royals or Chiefs games, they're familiar with the Denny's.
Yeah, a lot of people have ate there. We almost ate there that night. We were like, should we get something? We're like,
that's the ultimate night stop.
We're like,
Place
yeah.
like
See,
that.
that's why it's so popular.
Hangover, had a little bit too much to drink, and
Mhm.
you're going to Denny's to get some pancakes and
Soak it up.
and we didn't, and then it was gone. So, but now it's paved over. It's completely gone. The next time I will be in Kansas City will be for the Huskers and Bearcats and Arrowhead Stadium. So hopefully we can bring those good vibes back with us to
Hopefully,
Kansas City.
there's gonna be a lot of Husker vibes down there.
There will be. And at the game yesterday, we were 4 rows behind the Orioles bullpen. Dugout. So we were right.
What's the difference? I don't
Okay,
know.
the bullpen is where the pitchers get warm up.
Oh,
like
okay.
They're coming in for relief. And then the dugout is where all the players
I know
are.
what the dugout
Okay.
is. I just didn't know what the difference between
So
them.
every time the players came off, we were literally as far as like basically where we are.
Mhm.
That's how far away we were from the players. So there was one moment where Ryan Mountcastle was coming off, and every time they after the Orioles were done in the outfield, and they're all coming in, they're right by us, and Ben's just talking. And so Ryan Mountcastle looked at Ben and gave him a little nod.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you
he
never
didn't forgot
told
to tell
me
you.
that.
It was just a slight,
hell yeah.
Because he was, of course, been decked out in Orioles gear. I mean, you had a
Orioles.
jersey on, but you still had your
You had a
hat
Nebraska hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ben was
That's the
decked
ultimate
out.
fan experience. That's all you want. It's like a little
Just
bit
a
of
little-
recognition.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit like
Ooh.
that
Yep.
little head nod.
Eye contact.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
like,
pretty
Ryan Mountcastle knows I'm alive.
exist.
Yeah, that's all. I've had I remember when I used to be like big time Kobe Bryant fan. I was like, man, it'd be so cool if I was at a Lakers game and I had like a bunch of Lakers gear on. Like you just as a kid, you're like, just hope you get noticed. And they like sign it or they like they give you their shoes or something because like you're repping their gear. I'd imagine that's something what Ben felt like.
There's one time I got a Joe Daly wristband.
Really?
But
Joe Daly?
I was an adult. And I think I reached out past the kid to get it.
Probably you did.
Oh, you were one of those.
But what happened to it?
Good
Why do
thing
you
you
not
didn't
ever
catch it.
keep
I don't know.
any of
Maybe
this
I
stuff?
gave it to him. I don't know.
Good thing there's no
Yeah.
camera.
I might have given it to the kid.
That's always ESPN. Not top 10.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
You get caught.
If we would have caught a ball yesterday, we would have. There was a Orioles fan next to us, and there was a Royals little kid Royals fan. We would have given them the ball.
I think Ben's still fair game to claim it.
Well, he
I don't
looks
know,
like
he's-
a
How sad of a look.
25-year-old.
Yeah, he looks like an adult.
There were a bunch of kids like gathered up down on one side, and I was like, Ben, go over there. And he's like, I look like a 25-year-old man.
Yeah,
I
Like
know.
you're in high school. You can still go
He
get a
has
ball
a
sign.
beard.
So he has a beard.
It depends on the situation. Like if it's one high schooler and a bunch of youngins,
Yeah, right.
then you got to pull back a little bit.
I mean, I went down to get my picture taken with Matt Rule.
We know.
Yeah, you talk about that a lot.
We know. We really is that the footsteps we want Ben
Oh, my
following in?
gosh. No, he's already more level-headed than I am. I mean, he did try to go over and get an autograph before the game, but the player had already left. But
He also picked better teams, so he's got a better head on him.
yeah, most of the guys when they come off weren't really acknowledging the crowd, so they looked down and people be yelling. This one little girl had a Jordan Westberg sign or something, and he didn't even look at her. And I was like, oh, he just left her hanging. This little 10-year-old made this sign to show you, but they were dialed in, and so and it was a good win for them. So it was a good. And then we watched the Final Four on our way home. So we watched the Husker game before we got there.
I was gonna say, you watched the Crown at all?
We watched it. We were watching the Crown.
What's your excitement level for the Crown? I'm getting into it. I'm not gonna lie. It's been going on. I've been like really happy Nebraska decided to play postseason.
The first couple games, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is kind of."
First one, I was like that because especially the way it started out with Arizona State, I was like, do I really want to watch anymore?
Yeah, because they were like 13 and 18. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
and Nebraska was looking bad. I think they were down. I can't remember exactly how much, but they didn't start the game very good. And I want to say they're down at least double digits.
Well,
first half.
And yesterday they were underdogs.
Yeah.
So and Boise State was
not by much though.
No, but they were still underdogs, and they were full strength. Like so, it was a full team versus a full team. The first two games, there were like Georgetown had two of their top 3 players out.
We had Raleigh Wooster out.
He's not one of our top players. So it's kind of full strength. And I think the kind of cool thing, why they might have a little advantage today is because the second game went to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So they have about 3 hours more rest than that team does. You're playing Central Florida, which kind of has the Scott Frost angle,
Yeah,
right?
they're calling it the Frost Bowl.
Think he'll be?
Lord.
You think he'll be in attendance today?
No shot. He's going to be
Absolutely
there.
not.
It's going to be all Husker fans. There's not a lot of UCF fans traveling out to that, but you can be damn sure there's going to be a lot of Husker fans. He would not want to show up.
There's a lot of red in there.
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't want to show up to that. This is going to be like all Husker fans and hardly any UCF fans.
How Husker fans travel. So I would know.
Also, the college basketball crown probably isn't high on his.
Yeah,
not to belittle the college basketball crown, but it's different than being in the actual Final Four.
Well, and I'll tell you, my view of this changed after talking to AD last week. He was kind of like, I was kind of like, a little ho-humming it, you know, and he was like, hey, you know, the players, they didn't opt out. They wanted to play.
It's true.
That's more than you can say for a lot of college players nowadays. Football, basketball.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Right? He said, you know, they want to play. They're you know, they're basically playing for the school, and you don't see that a lot. So my viewpoint kind of changed, because like I said, I was kind of ho-hum, and then he's just kind of smacked me around a little bit. So, and he worked, because I was like, okay, this makes sense to me. And they are playing. I mean, I think the winning team gets $300,000 today.
Yeah, the winning team gets $300,000. They get $100,000 no matter what.
Right.
And then $50,000 for semifinals no matter what.
Well, $200,000 divided by 12 guys is
just 12.
Well, 12 basketball players on the team.
Only 12 on the whole team. There's only
so.
12 players. Oh, I don't know anything.
12, 13, something like that.
So you can make
$20,000 a person, or 300,000. No, it's $30,000 a person almost. That's pretty good.
Yeah, $300,000 if they win it.
Yeah,
that totals what they can make.
Yep, 300. That's pretty awesome.
Well, you saw Juwan Gary at the end of it counting the money as soon as they beat Boise State. So it's definitely thinking about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
rightfully so.
Do the players get money for winning the NCAA tournament? I don't think so.
Well, they get deals.
I'm sure they do all right with the NCAA tournament.
I know, but they don't. Yeah, they're not playing. You don't hear like the winner of Monday night's game gets
get paid
$500,000 in cash.
That's because it's every year. It's a little bit different. They get paid though.
Yeah,
sure.
They've already gotten paid.
Well, and there's some talk like too, Nebraska. This is their fourth game they'll have played, versus if they would have got to the big tournament and they were one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's cool. I'll be tuning in today.
Yeah, 20+ wins again as well.
And I like throwing some jabs out there, like, you know, they're one of the 4 best teams left in the country.
It is kind of funny,
right?
That when Nebraska could be the only school in history, well, currently, as years go on, it might change, to be the only school to win an NIT and a college basketball crown, but not win a March Madness game.
Hey, that's all right.
It'd just be bizarre to have those two under your belt, a crown, an NIT title, but not even just a win.
Yeah,
it's bizarre. Nebraska football and basketball have the most bizarre stats you'll ever find.
Yes,
between two long-running programs with a lot of money.
Especially in the last 8 years. They put a little graph up on during the game yesterday. It's like last 8 seasons of basketball and football. I was like, oh my god.
And the basketball, ironically, this has been the best basketball we've ever seen.
That's the thing.
It's stepping stones, right?
Yeah,
isn't this what you want?
It's such a such a weird dynamic, because like a lot of people were disappointed this year, right? It's like, okay, we didn't make the tournament. And then you look at, so I was kind of doing a little research on this. So since they won yesterday, it was win number 20. First time they've won 20 games back-to-back since 1998-99.
Danny? No, who's the coach then?
Oh, I think, I have no idea.
I wasn't born yet.
19 years old living in Iowa. I don't really remember. But that sounds right. I mean, he's really the only one that did much.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking a wild swing. It was the last time we had 220.
Right. So you have that.
I'm assuming it's him.
And then so they've won 43 games total over the last 2 years, which is the second most in any 2-year stretch ever. This goes back to 1990-91. So they won 26 games in 1990, and then they followed that up with, I can't remember, it was 20 games in 9. So 46 was the record, and they're at 43. So if they win today, they'll be 44. So it's like, we're disappointed. We're like, oh my gosh, we're not good. But historically, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
It's the golden age of Nebraska ball.
It
is.
It feels like
it is. Ironically, it is.
I mean, when it's the second most wins in a 2-year stretch ever in the history of a program, you think, wow, we're on top of the world. I mean, we're not really, but
compared to everybody else,
it'd
be like a third world country today hitting the industrial area. Be really great for them. Everybody else is way ahead.
Yeah. Like But anyway, so that's kind of cool. So I think they play at 4 or 4:30 today. And then the women's bowling team is in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to Vegas.
Yeah, they made it past regionals.
Huskers is taking over Vegas.
Yep.
Basketball, bowling. So yeah, they're in the Final Four. I saw that last night. So they made it out and they'll be in Vegas. I think that is coming up this weekend is when that starts.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't won a title since 2021. So if they can get
They've
another
done really
one,
well this year too.
I know it's a little bit of revenge tour for them too. I don't think they'll say it publicly, but I think they're a little peeved off they didn't get the number 1 overall seed. So they finished number 1 in RPI and number 1 in coaches poll, and then they came out and they somehow got number 2 seed.
Wouldn't you think
Pittsburgh, and they're like, huh, okay.
Isn't it interesting? I'm thinking like, how do you vote? If I was voting for a bowling ranking,
well, that's why.
Wouldn't you like look and be like, okay, which team averages the most?
Which team has the most wins? Just match wins, best like pin,
highest average per game. Like, isn't that the best team?
Right, because it doesn't matter what the other teams do. It's what you do. It's an individual sport counted as teams.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I thought was bizarre.
Yeah.
Like the coaches poll, I can see how that one's a little bit more like, some coaches might think they just had an off day. So they're gonna give like people like, but even then you'd think Jillian Martin would get the edge on that. But then you get RPI, which is the numbers where it's like, these guys are just good. Maybe I don't understand it enough, but I cannot make any sense at all how they got the 2 seed.
That's okay, because you know why?
They're going to Vegas.
We settle it. We settle it on the lanes.
Yeah, that's the
settled between the arrows on the lanes.
What's it called?
The alley.
Yeah, but what's the show called? What
do you mean the show? Oh, striking up a conversation.
Oh no, that's not what
I thought you meant the.
No, I did mean that, but wasn't it called something else before a long time ago?
Spare time and striking up a conversation.
Never mind.
There was always
there's some bowling thing that I never heard of before, but never mind. Just rewind.
I don't know.
We'll cut this part out.
Not sure what you're talking
Women's softball also beat Iowa
over
the weekend.
Just smoking Iowa and the baseball team. I mean, this is like
Rutgers up.
This is a huge weekend. Baseball's 2-0, softball's 2-0, women's bowling, basketball, the Crown Championship.
Yeah, what else did we win
this
week? Man, I'm starting to think
That's
we won
all
everything.
the ones I follow. So I don't know. Soccer, I don't know how soccer's going.
That's pretty cool.
But
so we have a few more minutes here. Just wanted to briefly talk about our 10-week challenge coming up here. Starts this coming Saturday, 1 week from yesterday. So if you're interested in that, you can go to fxblincoln.com or you can reach me directly, 402-310-4026. I was listening to Kelvin Sampson's post-game speech. Houston had a huge I was sleeping, so I didn't see this, but
the ending was
I kind of watched the little highlight reel this morning, and his post-game on the court, they were asking him about the comeback, and he just said kind of something like whenever Aaron Davis talks at our orientations, he addresses our 10-week challengers, and he says kind of the same thing that Kelvin Sampson said. AD says, the only way you fail this 10-week challenge is if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
If you finish, you're a winner. Though the only way you fail is if you quit. So Kelvin Sampson was talking about this yesterday, and he just said, we didn't lose because we didn't quit. The only way you lose is if you quit.
Yeah.
And our guys did not quit.
Like something a loser would say. I like AD's better.
But they won, though.
I know.
It was kind of the same thing.
I'm just kidding.
Duke have one field goal in like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and
that's brutal.
Defense.
But no,
crazy.
that is it applied. It applied.
Yeah,
because they never quit.
They never quit, even though they were down big. And I think that just goes to show when you have, Duke had maybe the most talented team, the best player in the tournament, Cooper Flagg. But Houston, they're grown men. They're 23, 22, 24-year-old players. And down the stretch, we were watching the highlights on SportsCenter, and they're like, "Oh, Cooper Flagg's 18." And I look at Ben. I was like, "Ben, he's your age. Like, that's a lot of pressure.
So much
for an 18-year-old kid at the Final Four." And one of their freshmen, Proctor, missed the free throw, right? And then Houston goes down, and their senior hits both free throws, and then back down the court, Cooper Flagg, the freshman, one shot, bricks it
short,
and that's it. I mean,
that's always the part you forget, though. So it's like you forget they're 18 because he's 6'9", 200 plus pounds.
Yep.
Like just hard to think of these guys as kids, but I do think that matters. You see it all the time. That's why I think Auburn, all the 1 seeds made it deep. All those guys have like a lot of transfer players that are 3-4 year guys. I think that stuff's going to matter more and more in these tournaments. Like which teams have the guys that have some years under their belt.
Same with Florida too. That Clayton Jr. senior, big shots. I mean, again, they just three. I mean, it was just like they were down 9. I was like, oh my! And then they just same thing they did against Texas Tech, down 9. They just 4 threes in a row. They did the same thing yesterday against Auburn. Just bam, 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 and they get the lead. Just clutch shooting.
How's your bracket doing, by the way?
So I have Florida to win the championship, but I had them beating Duke. So I missed that one. But I do have Florida
beating St. John's.
So you got the champions are alive still.
I know. Unfortunately, the ones that threw money down in. I'm like, it's so close, but I'm like 10 points behind. It doesn't matter because they also got Houston winning.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was kind of aced out of. We were at a Farrell's pool, and people who picked Florida had the exact same Final Four and finals game as I did.
When you get a lot of 1 seeds in the Final Four, it kind of makes everything just.
It makes those other ones matter that you don't think matter. Yeah.
Yep. All right. One quick thing.
This is about sports.
Bears football.
No.
Okay. No, shush.
I remember last year on the show we were talking about the women's tournament
at me?
being more watched than the men's.
Yeah.
And we had a texter that just ripped me up and down.
Yeah, I remember that.
We got a lot of hate whenever we talked about Caitlin Clark last year.
The women's championship game had more viewers than the men's last year. Yeah. That was a fact. So I saw the Final Four numbers for the women's field, and the UConn UCLA Final Four match had 4 million viewers. Last year, Iowa UConn 14.3.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah, I mean it's still
gonna be less
an
than
improvement, but comparing it to last year is like comparing the seasons when Michael Jordan was playing. Like, it's kind of the same.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see what it. I mean, I think I don't really have any desire to watch.
I feel like
the championship game today.
March Madness, but like Larry Bird is playing for Duke and Magic Johnson is playing for like Auburn or something, and those guys meet. That's what the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark thing felt like. Felt like you got 2 mega superstars.
Well, we actually did have that in the finals. Larry Bird and Indiana State versus Magic Johnson and Michigan.
But we didn't
State.
have the social media.
No, we didn't.
It's the difference.
You didn't know that's what it was going to be, Yeah.
But we did have that in the finals.
Yeah, I don't know why they just use their actual colleges as examples. Auburn and Duke.
Yeah, Larry Bird at Duke.
Well, you were making
Magic
it relevant
Johnson at
for
Auburn.
now. You were making it relevant.
Actually, they did play, but they were on different teams. All right, well, we're going to go to break, so stay with us. We're going to be joined by Brian Klein coming up here. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
You've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today. Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Fitness Fanatics. So we are now joined live by Fit Franchise Brand CEO Brian Klein and founder of the Max Fitness and Wellness Centers. So we wanted to bring him in. This is our 3-year anniversary on our show. Our first show ever, we had Lance Farrell as our first guest, which led to Mark Einweiler signing up for the 10-week challenge, which led to Mark Einweiler being the national challenge winner. It was just kind of a storied 1.5-year run for us at The Ticket. It was pretty awesome. So now here we are on our 3-year anniversary of doing the Fitness Fanatics, and we thought, what a great guest, but to have kind of like our new boss on. On the first show, now we have our new boss on 3 years later. No, I'm just kidding when I say boss, but it's just kind of funny, you know. Brian, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Now you're out in New Jersey, correct?
I am all the way out here in New Jersey. Yep.
Okay. Go. Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday to join us. If you're a church goer, you can thank me for getting you out of church today.
I love that. So you mentioned Mark. I remember actually when I was out visiting you guys, I met Mark in person. Actually, I was there when Lance awarded him the $10,000 check for the national contest. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you've been at the studios. You've been at the Ticket Studios too.
Yep.
We went there right afterward.
Yep.
Yeah. That still sticks with me. That moment when Mark got the award and was awarded the check, but mostly because I watched his video beforehand of his story. That was just absolutely amazing. So those are the types of things that stick with you forever. So inspirational.
Well, it started all at the Ticket.
It did with Fitness Fanatics.
So maybe Brian, you're going to be so inspirational today.
Maybe I could only hope so.
That maybe somebody who's listening will start with us and change their lives. So
I could only hope so.
Yeah,
I can tell you that's the thing that really draws me to Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, because it truly is an inspirational brand. You can't help, like when I walked into your center that morning, it was the first time I walked into a Farrell's, right? I flew out, met Lance, and literally next morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it's freezing cold. At least to me, it was like below zero.
It was not.
To me, it was. I was like frozen walking in there. But no, the place was packed and the energy was through the roof. And the second you walk in there, you can't help but be impacted in a positive way and feel like working out. It was really, truly amazing.
Well, so this first segment, Ryan, with our guests, we like for our listeners to get to know our guests. So the things we ask, first of all, where you grew up, and nobody's really going to know where you went to high school. So most people
not
are
our
like,
listeners.
not our listeners.
Yeah.
Most of the people here are, well, I went to small town Nebraska and this and that. But so we want to kind of know where you grew up, and then also, were you active in sports? Like, what sports did you love growing up, and did you play any as you got older in high school, maybe in college?
Yeah. So I grew up in central New Jersey, which to a lot of people out in Nebraska probably sounds like, that you're gonna get off the airplane and drive through oil fields and all this. But truthfully, growing up here, it was mostly farms. All that has changed now. I went to also a small high school, at least small for the East Coast, about 1,000 students in the school, which for us is not a lot. I think there's probably towns out there that maybe have 1,000 people, from what I hear. Is that true?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
So for us, like 1,000 people is not a lot. Now that school's grown to like, I don't know, 6,000, 7,000 students probably. So the sports that I absolutely love to play, I wasn't much of a team sports player, but I loved martial arts. I've been doing that my entire life. Did martial arts all through high school, all through college, and even, now I still even compete in martial arts. Not saying that I'm really that, amazing at it, but I absolutely love doing it. So I stick with it, and it helps to keep me in shape. But beyond that, I also was on the high school wrestling team, which I loved also. So individual sports were really the thing that I loved the most.
So being in martial arts, I'm assuming you just fell in love with the Karate Kid movies like I did.
Oh, man. Yeah. You're not kidding me, man. I'll tell you, it was like I was already in business for myself at that time. So I was running martial arts school. So I loved it more than most people because it was like a big boom. I mean, everybody wanted to do martial arts. And at the time, we were the only game in town. So it was like there was a line down the street of people who wanted to get involved in martial arts.
Now, I'm assuming that, you're a little bit nicer than John Kreese.
Maybe a little bit. I try.
And did you, now, if you're kind of a nerd out like me on Karate Kid, they had the new show Cobra Kai that's been on since 2018.
Yeah.
And so did you watch the Cobra Kai remake?
Did I watch it?
Yeah.
No, the question is how many times did I watch it?
Good, because I've seen every episode of Cobra Kai. I mean, it was just like
it was binge watching immediately when it came out.
Yes, binge watching like
for us.
And when you get older, I know you're a little bit older than I am, but when we get older, we like the nostalgia. So for me, it was like Cobra Kai was the nostalgia of the 80s with the Karate Kid. And so we watched all those and one of the first couple episodes of the Karate Kid or the Cobra Kai series, I tell our members at Farrell's this, when one of the kids, Dimitri, back when he was just kind of a nerd starting out, right? Well, he kind of was at the end too, but like he goes into the dojo and Johnny Lawrence is just, Dimitri's just getting the crap beat out of him, right? He's just getting kicked in the face, and then he leaves the dojo and he says, "Thank you, Sensei." So then they're walking away, and he's like, "I can't believe that I show up for this. I get the crap beat out of me, I say thank you, and then I pay him for it.
Exactly. How
So
many
I-
of our
Yeah.
members joke that way? I mean, they don't
yeah.
really feel it, but they joke that way, right?
I say that to our people when they come in to do their before picture, when they're joking with me about like, oh, this is uncomfortable. And I'm like, well, you'll thank me for this when we leave this room. And they do, because it's just a habit of saying thank you. You know, everything's done. And they're like, all right, you're done. I'm like, okay, thank you. And they do every time. And then they're just like, dang it, you're right. I did thank you.
But they do thank you at the end of 10 weeks when they look at the after and they're like, holy cow, I'm glad I took that before so I could remember what I looked like, what I felt like.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's funny though when they're after leg day and they just, I can't walk up the stairs, and then but they're thanking us for it and paying us for it. So that line that Dimitri said, I was just cracking
love
up,
it. Yeah,
laughing
that's awesome.
so hard because
We'll have to get T-shirts made with that on it. For sure.
Yep.
So we also like to know what is your. So we're in the middle of March Madness, and after the national championship game, they always play one shining moment, which I always get goosebumps just watching and listening to that song.
Listening to that song, I can get goosebumps
Because it's kind of cool. Like,
very inspirational song.
Typically, we all have our. I mean, I don't really have a lot of one shining moments in my sports career, but typically most people have their one shining moments. Was there any like moment in your taekwondo career, or even when you wrestled back in high school, that you would tell your grandkids? Like we also kind of compare it to Al Bundy. You know how he scored 4 touchdowns in the city championship.
You must have been reading my mind.
So what's one of those?
I'll tell you. Yeah, no, man. I have one that just sticks right in my mind. In fact, one of my friends said to me, he goes, "You're just like Al Bundy." I was telling him, he says, "You're like Al Bundy. Stop telling the story. That was 40 years ago." What are you doing? But probably one of the best moments in my life was, somebody triggered something in my mind in the martial arts school. And he said, if I put your head on that guy's body, he'd be Bruce Lee. You'd be Bruce Lee. You'd be like Bruce Lee. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, your work ethic is like through the roof, but that guy's just more flexible, more this, more that, more the other. So it like triggered this like competitive edge in me. And I was like, I am going to put in 4 times. I'm going to double down, triple down, quadruple down, and make this next tournament that I had set my sights on be the best one yet. And the fact of it is that I had this like track record of always coming in. They called it third place, but it was always fourth place because there were 2 third place trophies, which I never quite understood. But there were 2 third place trophies, but I was really getting the fourth. Yeah, no matter how hard I tried, I always came in fourth. I was like fourth, maybe every now and then. If I pushed a little harder, I came in third. But I put my mind to it and really doubled down on my training, not just my physical training, but my mental training as well, to condition myself to really operate at my optimal best. And I remember coming out of that tournament with a first place trophy and a lot of stories, and just feeling like $1 million and realizing at that point how much our mindset really plays into what results we get in life, whether it's, in martial arts, in sports, business, relationships. Our mindset really does play in. And that was that martial arts tournament was the defining moment that truly proved that to me.
And how old were you at the time? Like what part of?
I'm trying to think if I drove or if my parents drove me to that particular.
Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
I was probably 16 because I could remember that I didn't drive at the time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any stories like that. I mean, my 3rd grade wrestling championship would have been good, but other than that,
that's the only thing you have.
Yeah. No, that is awesome. Well, we're going to take our first break. And I know I can kind of tell. I think I know who your favorite NFL team is, but based on where you live. But we're going to find out.
Don't tell us yet. No spoilers.
So
we have a really short segment next, and that's what we talk about.
So when we come back, we're going to find out who's Brian's favorite NFL team and how he became a fan of that team. So stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Who are you?
I'm the Truck Fairy.
You mean the Tooth Fairy?
No, Truck Fairy. I appear when someone dreams about winning one of the 8 new trucks in the Nebraska Lottery's Trucks and Bucks scratch game.
Oh, so you leave trucks and bucks tickets under my pillow?
No,
Cash?
sorry.
What exactly do you do?
Remind people to play today.
Don't think I need a truck ferry for that.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Play Trucks and Bucks from your Nebraska lottery. Top prize odds are 1 in 336,000.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association. and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Fitness Fanatics. Got a short segment here. We're joined by Brian Klein, who's way out in New Jersey this morning. So, Brian, favorite NFL team, and how did you become a fan of that team?
So let me start off by saying, like, football in my family was with the round ball because my father immigrated, right? So until I was in high school, I didn't really even understand what, like, everybody played football. Football was soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but being from New Jersey, like, I've got no choice but to root for the hometown Giants. And that's
okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Patriots for so that's Tony. That's a big Patriots fan.
oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Don't even start. Like, when Tony's in the office, oh my gosh, like it's like throwdown time. He's like all dressed up with the hat. He's got the thing. And the other guys come in with the Giants stuff. It's Tony's a big Patriots fan.
But you have the upper hand because the Giants are 2-0 against the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That has to drive him, eat him up.
Bazonkers, drives him nuts.
So what made you become a Giants fan then? Like, usually there's a moment, like when you start having an awareness of football and they're doing well or whatever. Do you have that moment?
Yeah, I had a neighbor growing up, and he owned a car dealership, and one day he picked me and my brother up and brought us to a Giants game. The reason why this all ties in with the car dealership is because they were actually, it was owned by Brad Benson, the car dealership. So he was partners with Brad Benson, who's a New York Giant, and literally, like, got us on the field, and we met all the players, and it was absolutely amazing. Sat like right at the 50-yard line. It was an amazing experience. And, ever since that day, whenever that's just my team. That ever since that day.
Now I don't want to age you out here, but about when was that? I'm trying to think of eras so I can throw out some players. Was it in the 80s?
It was in the late 70s, early 80s is when Brad Benson played.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the Giants, they've had some. I was thinking, man, he maybe met Lawrence Taylor, and that was a little bit later, though.
Yeah.
No, he played from the 78 to 88.
Okay.
So it's in that time frame.
See, here in Nebraska, it's just Nebraska, right? For football, we don't have a pro team, so there's really no, it's you're a Husker fan. That's pretty much it, or you're just not liked. No, I'm just kidding. We like everybody. I have an instructor that's an Iowa fan, so I stomach, some things in life and at the gym. But I'm imagining, like, over there, so you like have the Giants and the Jets. Is there, like, at the gyms over there, do you guys have a lot of, like, Giants and Jets fans, and they kind of go back and forth?
100%, but it really gets interesting when you get the Eagles fans in there. That's where it really gets. That's where they really like to have some fun.
That's like Iowa fans coming into Nebraska.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like Colorado fans coming into Nebraska.
Colorado's a good.
Well, we don't have any Colorado fans at the gym that I know of.
He just means in general.
Like, oh yeah,
Colorado is more likely to throw some hands, I think.
Well, it's getting to be Iowa a little bit for me.
That's just because you lived there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Brian. So when we owned our gym in Iowa, I mean, gosh, when Nebraska lost, I was nowhere for me to hide. Like, I'd go into the gym and I'd get harassed. Just people just, and then when we lost to Iowa, it was just like, there's a couple occasions, like the first year we were owners, I kind of had a bet with the members, and I'm like, okay, if Iowa beats Nebraska, I will teach class wearing all Iowa stuff. Mm-hmm. And this was in 2013, and they beat us. Now, Iowa beat Nebraska. And I'll tell you what, I taught that 4:30 class that Black Friday, and that was packed. packed with
Man.
members. Like people were taking pictures with me like I was this celebrity.
It's funny that you say that because I've kind of forgotten about this because, in Nebraska, most people are Husker fans, but you are like next level Husker football fan. Like everyone kind of knows that, you're like the top part of the fandom. And it's funny because when we lived in Iowa, it was always like people ribbing you. And nobody really talked to me about you with football. But here, when the Huskers lose, I have 25 people. How's Jeff doing? Coming into the gym. Like, how's Jeff handling the loss? We never had that experience in Iowa.
And you say he handles it like we lose all the time, so he's used to it.
I'm like, well, how do you feel? He feels the same. It's a bummer.
Now I know why you guys moved to Nebraska.
Yeah,
I know.
Some of my friends were like, "Oh, we beat you so bad, we just beat you right out of the state."
Nobody cared about your feelings when we lived in Iowa.
No, and as a business owner, Brian, we had most of the members that went to our gym were Iowa fans or Iowa State fans.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be as
obnoxious.
I couldn't post obnoxious things or say obnoxious things because those people paid me to come. Right. So, but now it's like here in Nebraska, like most all the members are Husker fans. So it's kind of nice because then I can be miserable with everybody.
Like your MyZone name is Iowa Sucks.
Yes. My MyZone name is Iowa Sucks. SUX. And the reason I keep that on there is because I feel like when our members see that on the MyZone board, it makes me work a little harder. And then when I'm teaching, and if I get into the red zone, I always say Iowa Sucks is in the red zone. So I say that out loud, and then all the time. And then for my friends in Iowa that are on MyZone that I'm connected with, when on their feed it says Iowa Sucks. Iowa Sucks. Iowa Sucks.
And you love going to Iowa gyms, and inevitably the instructor will be like, "Who is this Iowa Sucks?" So maybe you are the Eagles fan. Actually,
I could be. But yeah, we're like when we worked out in Altoona last year, and it was just Iowa Sucks was on the board. People are who is that? It's me with the Husker hat.
Obviously, it doesn't take long to figure out. Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break. So we're going to get into some more health and wellness stuff. Brian, coming up at the top of the hour, we want to talk about how you started the Max Fitness and Wellness Center, how it grew to what it is. So that'll be an awesome conversation. So stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essink.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Modern Woodmen of America. Founded in 1883, Modern Woodmen offers financial services and member benefits to individuals and families throughout the U.S. For more information, please call Sean Erickson at 402-483-6515. Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures. Big shout out to them. We appreciate all their support of the Fitness Fanatics.
Do you have a correction really quick?
Oh, we have a correction. What we do?
Corey Keller told me that the only reason that people ask how you're doing is because they're afraid that you're going to take it out on them.
Yeah. See, Brian.
After the Huskers lose.
This is another myth.
I don't mean to derail, but I have to say it right now because that is also.
This is another myth that when I teach a class on a Monday after a Nebraska loss, that I take it out on the class, like my frustration.
Oh.
And it's a myth.
Okay.
It's a myth because, so Nicole and I teach, we teach at both gyms and we teach a lot. So kind of what we do is we have one, and we teach at all the different class times. So I'll have a workout that I do from on Friday at Yankee Ridge, whatever time I teach, on Monday at Yankee Ridge, on Wednesday at Yankee Ridge. Then I'll take that workout and do it at Meadowlane. So over a 2-week period, we might teach the same class like 14 times.
Yeah.
The 14 different classes at 2 gyms. So when they get the class, it's the same one I did the week before.
Yeah,
it's
but you add a little extra spice to it, I feel like. There's
maybe
a little extra seasoning.
Just a little obnoxiousness.
Maybe.
A little more mean.
A little extra.
Burpees for 20 minutes, he said.
But that's a myth.
Sit-ups become burpees. Jumping jacks become burpees.
Maybe.
All right. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Now we'll get back on track.
All right. So, Brian, let's go back to pre-Max Fitness and Wellness. Like, how was this thing born? Like, take us back to what you did to like exercise, nutrition before this was born, because we know Lance Farrell's story about how extreme body shaping got started. So let's kind of go back to how the Max got started. Take us back to the beginning.
Sure. So I grew up in a house where fitness was an important part of our lifestyle, nutrition too. Like, and growing up, like we never had fast food. It just wasn't something that was allowed in our house. But the journey to the Max Challenge and starting the Max Challenge happened when my wife and I learned we were going to become first-time parents. And like most parents, we had hopes and dreams for our children. And every one of the conversations we'd have about what our future would be like ended the same way. As long as our child is born healthy, that's all that would matter, right? Like you guys are parents. I'm sure there's a lot of parents listening, right? And that's the main thing. As long as our family is happy, healthy, that's all that matters. And one day we got the news that everything wasn't going to be okay. Not only was our unborn child's life in jeopardy, but my wife's life was in jeopardy as well. And the doctors informed us that the only way to safeguard my wife's life was to terminate the pregnancy. So you could imagine that was a very, very stressful situation. And thankfully, we left that doctor's office never to return. And the short of it is that my wife and unborn child underwent an experimental surgery. It was so groundbreaking that it was actually covered on the Discovery Channel. If you ever watch those shows on the Discovery Channel where they follow, couples around with the camera and then show all the ups and downs, and finally we were on that show. So it was crazy. It was also on the front page of the New York Times science section. And my wife was in the hospital for an extended period of time. Eventually, my son was born healthy but premature. He was under 2 pounds. So you could imagine having a 2-pound baby brings a lot of challenges. It brings a lot of stress to a family. My wife was still in the hospital and my son was still in the hospital for an extended period of time. And, I devoted my entire life to just, helping my wife and my son to get through this in the best way possible. And I really did not handle the stress of it well. I learned to handle the stress by eating. And I went from basically being an athlete to gaining what I would guess would be almost 100 pounds. I didn't weigh myself, and that's what I'm saying I'd guess to be, but I think I probably weighed like 270 pounds. So I went from like 170 to 270. I'm 6 foot tall, so 170 is probably a little light for that, but 270 is way too heavy, for 6 foot tall. So short of it is as my son began to grow and get older and play sports and things like this, become more active and thankfully get healthier, I one day took a look in the mirror and was like, couldn't believe who I had become. How could I be the best parent that I could be if I'm not setting an example of excellence for my own child? Like I couldn't even run up and down the sidelines of the soccer field when he was like just playing like, pee-wee soccer or whatever it was, because I pulled my hamstring or something like that. So I literally one day just drew a line in the sand and said, I'm going to get myself back into the best shape of my life. And as I started to march down that journey, I started to realize that people go to the gym every single day. And day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, these people are walking in and out of the gym. I'm talking the big box gyms, right? Where, they sign up for like just the weights and maybe there's some classes in there, but nobody says anything to them about nutrition. They're just walking in and out. Here, I had disciplined myself. I knew what to do. I started following my nutrition program again and started exercising the right way, the right combination of cardio and strength training. And the weight started to come off. I got back down to 170 pounds and people started to ask me, what are you doing? And I naturally like to share. So I started sharing with a few people. A couple of those people just started to get results. And I started to realize somebody has to combine. At that time, probably the only one that was doing this was Lance Farrell. Legitimately, right? And it's honest, right? Because he was doing it before me, right? But I was like, somebody in this neighborhood has to combine fitness, nutrition, and motivation to help people get amazing results. And I launched it. I had a measly 32 people enroll for the first 10-week challenge. And that 32 grew to over 500 in just 6 months. And much like the way Farrell's has grown and the way that you folks have grown your centers, it's one thing: results. Once people start getting results and their neighbors and their friends start to see the amazing outcomes that they're achieving, you start to get referrals. And it was just amazing. It was amazing to see that we were having such a positive impact on our communities, and people's lives were changing in ways I really couldn't have imagined when I first launched the program.
So where was that first center that you guys opened? Like what city was that in?
It was in Manalapan. It's still there, obviously, to this day.
Right.
And actually, we started it as more of a program than anything, right? We had these karate schools, and it was empty in the morning. So we ran a couple of classes, and I tell you, like, to go from 32 people to 500 in 6 months, it was so exciting. It was such and then it caught on like wildfire. From the names of the towns don't mean much to you guys, but we went from like Manalapan to Old Bridge and it was just neighboring communities, one after another, until we no longer had any more communities in New Jersey legitimately, and then started going into New York and then into Connecticut and then in the other direction to Pennsylvania.
So I know, like, one of the really unique things about Farrell's and all of the franchise owners is we all kind of started, even Nicole and I started taking our before picture in a 10-week challenge in a gym in a Farrell's. Ours was in, well, Nicole did her first 10-week challenge was actually at the Beaverdale location when it wasn't even Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. What was it called? UBC, Ultimate Body Challenge.
Yeah.
So that's how long we've been around. So that was like one of their first centers that they did was Beaverdale, and then over in Urbandale. But it was, I remember, like, one person moved to Nicole. What was the first center in Minnesota? Was it Blaine?
I don't remember. Well, but that might be right.
So one of, like, an instructor moved to Blaine, Minnesota, and started a Farrell's there, and then from there people came and did the challenge, and then an instructor moved to another town, and then an instructor moved to another town. It was like it just kind of caught on. Is that kind of how the Max Challenge grew? Is like you had people coming in and seeing results and like, wow, this is awesome. I want to start my own in my city. Is that how it grew for you guys also?
100%. And it's the best kind of growth. In fact, when I visit Farrell centers throughout the Midwest, it really is like a spitting image of the Max Challenge, and the Max Fitness and Wellness is also a spitting image of Farrell's. Like, it's amazing because the culture that's been created in the two organizations is driven by the passion of the individual owners. And I don't think you could really replicate that in many brands. I mean, I dare to say, but I think it's true. I really do believe this throughout the world. I think Farrell's and the Max have something really unique because the owners are so passionate because they've experienced it themselves. They know what it's like.
Yeah, from the very beginning. Like, we can tell people at orientation, like, we remember sitting on these mats, never having thrown a punch, a kick, didn't know what a lateral raise was with a band. When Nicole and I,
some people know what that's.
Right. But we had no clue what was going on, and we got our picture taken in our underwear, and our weight done by a stranger, and so we've experienced all those feelings that they're feeling now. Like, we still have our before pictures of our 10-week challenge.
That's so awesome.
Kind of like what you have, like what you sent me. Like, I got those pictures from you, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I didn't know you looked like that. And I
Well, you talking about the hair? The hair?
Yeah.
I had to shave that off.
I did.
And I used to go to the beach like that too, Jeff. That's what's so scary. Like,
in a sweater.
Yeah, it was nobody said anything to me. It's very embarrassing. Like someone should have said, "Hey, buddy,
It
get a
wasn't a
big
thing.
laser."
That was
Yeah.
a big deal back then. That was
Did you get my George the Animal Steel reference?
No.
that was wrestling, WWE.
I do remember Georgie Animals. Yeah, but I mean, did you text it to me? You should have sent me
Well,
that.
it was in the email that I had sent back to
I didn't
you.
see that one. I think that's hilarious. I got to
I
use
said-
that.
It was the reply to you sending
Yeah.
that picture.
Yeah.
I thought a good headline for an ad would be, "It's so easy a caveman could do it," and then I'd show like the before with all the hair and the beard and everything, and then the after with
I
looking
think
nice.
and I think that's also what's helped the evolution of both programs too, because in my before picture, I was wearing white like socks. And so and it just looks ridiculous in my picture. And to this day, like I will not take a before picture with someone's socks on just because it looks silly. But mine was like extra ridiculous. This was back when like it wasn't cool to wear the high socks.
I know
I
exactly
was
what you're
wearing.
talking about.
Right. So it's like you're in the, I was in my sports bra, biking shorts, and these white socks. Getting my picture taken
I
in
love
the
that.
bathroom at Ankeny Farrell's. And so I now to this day just will not allow people to wear socks. Like it's
I
part of
think that should become a rule, like
Yeah.
system wide in both brands. Like
I'm like, it's like
no-
wearing socks to the
maybe
pool.
they shouldn't even wear them to the gym. I'm thinking maybe.
So yeah, but I think that's also what has helped the program evolve also, because I remember that day. I remember getting my picture taken. I don't remember the name of the person who took my picture, but it was a guy. I remember that, which is also why I take all the pictures in our locations, but I remember what he looks like. I don't remember his name. So
That's smart.
sticks
You know,
with
another thing that sticks out about these before and afters that I think is really powerful. Sometimes you look at the before, and the people have like such a frown or a that like a look of nervousness, or maybe even that they're not happy with themselves, and then you look at the after, and there's just this like incredible smile, and people just look so happy. And
that's my favorite part.
yeah,
is
the changes that happen on the inside, not just the
demeanor.
ones. Yeah.
Yep, that is my favorite part of every 10-week session, and putting the pictures together and seeing just the change in how people carry themselves. And I mean, I was there for both the pictures, so I know the conversations that were happening before that before picture was taken, but it's really cool to see it and what can change like in 10 weeks. For sure.
It's amazing what can change in 10 weeks.
We know. Yeah. Yes, we know.
And it's too, speaking of like the culture of Farrell's and what you guys do, like I'm still amazed that like Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been doing this for 22 years now, and we've been in Lincoln for over 15, and it's amazing. Like every 10-week challenge, there's more new people.
There's people who've never heard of us still, which is
Mhm.
crazy to me. Like
I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It is crazy that there's people who haven't heard of it.
So
exciting.
how do you, so like for Nicole and I, and we've been at this for, gosh, well, it'll be 12 years as owners now in June for us. So how do you find, like, I'm trying to word this question. Like, how do you keep like find the, okay, I'm just like tongue tied.
I don't know
What do
what's
you
in
think?
your brain.
Oh, come
Like-
on. We've been married 27 years. Figure it out.
Not yet.
No, close.
The passion. How do you keep
yes,
up?
like you keep the passion,
The
after
fire burning for the
after all
programs.
this time.
I'll tell you, ever since I could remember, I've had an inner desire to help people. And sometimes, that gets clouded from time to time, right? So, but like I have this like burning desire to help other people succeed, to succeed myself, but also to share and to help other people. So for me, it's reminding myself literally every single morning that my mission is to help people live happier, healthier, more fulfilled lives. And not just in a superficial way, but to really kind of dig deep and to reach that part of my mind and heart that is really the essence of who I am, and connect with it and remind myself of the good that we're doing, even though every now and then it gets tough. And you can't have those good times. You can't have those people coming to you and saying, thank you for what you've done for me if you don't persevere through the trials and tribulations of life, basically.
Yeah.
I have a quick story, if I could just tell you real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was out to lunch with my parents not too long ago, and we're sitting at the table. I'm like, these people are staring at me. They're like, come on, like, get over it. You're not that famous. Like, oh yeah, some people know you because you started the Max, but, and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, like, these people over here are staring at me. They get up off the table. They come over to us, and the woman says to me, hey, I hope you don't mind me interrupting, but my husband did your program, lost a tremendous amount of weight, and he is a heart attack survivor. And I attribute this to saving his life because he was heading back. He had heart surgery to correct, his clogged arteries and such, but he was headed back on that track. And until he came into the Max, he was headed back in that direction. And I really attribute this to saving his life. And that was an amazing moment that I anchored to. And, because my parents were sitting right there, and it was a great moment for them because they're like, wow, like this really is meaningful that this person took the time to say something like this. And those are the types of moments that I really try to anchor to, because in anything that you're doing, whether it's trying to lose weight yourself or get in shape or start a physical fitness routine, there's going to be ups and downs. You got to connect to your purpose and your why and really anchor to something that's bigger than yourself in order to move through that 10 weeks in the best way possible. Or if it's, starting a business, whatever it is that you're trying to do, I really do believe in anchoring to these small moments and being able to call back to how you felt in that moment. And those feelings and those emotions will help you act in a powerful way, even when you feel disempowered. It's a way for us to kind of bring ourselves back into a positive state.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a trap sometimes because we feel that way too. And if, as any business owner, you have, like you said, ups and downs and hard times, and the fitness industry is very fickle, very faddish. So there's been a lot in 12 years of, ups and downs. But if it was any other business, if you think about other businesses we could own a restaurant, we could own a hair salon, we could own all these other businesses. It would be a lot easier to just walk away when those times get hard. But because, like you've said, we've anchored ourselves to helping other people, that is like kind of the trap of it, but in the best way. That's what's helped us keep going through those hard times because that's just life. That's inevitable. You're going to have hard times in your life. And sometimes you do have to pivot and make different choices. But when you always have, like AD says, strong reasons, weaken excuses, like our members are our reasons. So what we kind of don't have a lot of excuses. We just kind of have to buckle up and
keep going. And I think it's an amazing example for our members because when they walk into any of our centers, they know beyond a doubt that they're getting coached by people that know how to work through the ups and downs and can coach them and give them strategies and tools to adjust whatever it is in their plan that needs to be adjusted, whether it's actual nutrition coaching or behavioral coaching that keeps them on track towards their goals. Like they are walking into the right place because they're dealing with people that they themselves have been through it and know how to relate and coach them through those situations to get the absolute best results.
And that's what can be hard about the fitness industry too, because, a lot of it is so social media driven right now. And so you're seeing everybody's, polished and glossy, presentation to the world when it comes to social media. But I think that's why group fitness is so powerful because you do get to see the real life. I don't go into the gym with a full face of makeup. I probably don't even brush my hair every morning before I go to the gym because I'm wearing a hat and I wear a ponytail. Like we are real people. I'm not
100%.
constantly thinking like, how am I going to be perceived? Because my job isn't me. My job is them. And I think that is why group fitness can be so powerful.
Yeah,
for people.
let's leave it right there, and we'll continue this conversation after we take a quick break. So stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hey, what are you talking about over there? Huh? I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's true for heart health, too. Sprinkling in a few small changes can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or no salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these changes? Join a workshop to learn more about a healthy lifestyle. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more details. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Fitness Fanatics. We are joined all the way from New Jersey by Brian Klein. He is the CEO of Fit Franchise Brands and the founder and owner of the Max Challenge gyms, now known as the Max Fitness and Wellness Centers. So we're pleased to have him with us. So when we ended here, the last conversation, we were just kind of getting into group fitness and why we love group fitness. So Brian, kind of expand on that as far as like what makes group fitness so unique and so powerful.
Especially from someone who an hour ago on our show, you were like, I didn't really play team sports in school. I was more of an individual sports person, because you could have gone that route. You could have gone the
personal
training or, some type of a coaching type route versus that group kind of fitness dynamic.
Yeah, it's interesting because even other people who come into our classes and say, yeah, no, I'm not into like the group thing. I'm not into the high five. I just want the results. I'm just going to come in. Like 2 weeks later, they're like, I don't know, I'm going on vacation, but I'm sure going to miss all these people and these classes. Like that, I don't know what I'm going to do without you guys. So, that community that is built is more powerful than I even imagined. Just being in a group of like-minded people, especially during the 10-week session where everybody in that group is striving towards the same thing, basically, right? To better their life in some way, either to tone up, shed weight, change, something mentally about themselves, get in a better mood, regulate their mood better. Like whatever the goal is, everybody's goal in that 10 weeks is to better themselves. And you'd be surprised, or people would be surprised who don't experience it, how fast people bond together and support each other. And that to me is like priceless.
Yeah, some of the best stories that I hear are, well, I'll take two of our instructors at Yankee Ridge, Kelly and Crystal, didn't know each other pre-Farrell's. Now they are best friends. They go on vacations together. They're inseparable. And they had no clue who each other was before they came to Farrell's.
Or your favorite story when we have couples who meet at Farrell's and then they get married and then they have babies. That's your favorite.
That's
too.
Right. Yes. Like we have a couple, Bryce and Casey. What?
Nothing.
No, I was talking about now they're getting married.
Yeah.
Right? They knew each other in high school, but they didn't date, or maybe they dated a little bit, but then Casey was a member at Farrell's. Bryce joined Farrell's, had no idea that Casey was the member there. No clue.
Nope.
Saw her, and now they're getting married.
Next weekend.
2
right?
weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
In 2 weeks. And I tell them, I'm like, guys,
you get to be there.
Great story.
If it wasn't for me moving to Nebraska, keeping these Farrell's locations going and thriving, you would not be getting married.
Yep.
Right?
I love that.
Stories.
And we've also had stories of people that have met each other, like Curtis and Bridget, met at Farrell's. Now they're married.
Yep.
We have people that have, they've had kids because they met at Farrell's. And I always say that is a Farrell's baby right there.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of cool.
Another powerful part of the group fitness is, sometimes you just don't feel like working out, but you got enough in you to get yourself to the gym. And then that person next to you just smiles or gives you a pat on the back or a high five or a good morning, whatever it might be, or you see them working hard and that energy rubs off on you, and it kind of is enough to get you going out of that mood and into the mood of wanting to work out. So the group environment really helps people to work hard even when they don't feel like it, right? Sometimes you're down and the person next to you lifts you up. Sometimes they're down and you lift them up.
I agree. Like, I've been teaching strength training for 16 years. And, there's some classes, like if just one or two people are there, like, I'll get up and I'll teach the class, and you give yourself a workout too, obviously, when you're teaching the strength training classes. But if nobody showed up to a class, I don't think I could stand up there and do a workout for just me.
I say that a lot too, and it's a particularly tough workout.
17
I would
years.
never have done all of that on my own.
Nope. I wouldn't have pushed myself. I could go into Anytime Fitness, and they have all these machines, and I've been doing strength training for all this time. I'd look around and be like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how many curls am I supposed to? Like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah. You know what you're doing. You just have
I have no
discipline,
motivation to do it for myself at all. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But with Farrell's, all you have to do is show up, and somebody's going to lead you through the workout, and there's a group of supportive people to cheer you on. It's amazing.
And it leads to other things. We've done half marathons, triathlons. Like, we've done a lot since then, just that building that confidence too. So it is crazy how this one program or two programs, Max and Farrell's, like, the programs are what they are. Farrell's is what it is. We've changed very little about our program over 22 years.
Very little. Yes.
Some of our strength training has become more dynamic, more focused on progressive overload. But beyond that, everything's the same. But we have such a variety of people who do the program. And I've been doing Farrell's since, I started at UBC, but when I started Farrell's, our son was 5 months old. He's 18 now. So this is the 18th anniversary of my first session, was this session starting.
In spring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. March of 2007. March of 2007 is when I started. And I started because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I just wanted to be around my friends again for 45 minutes a day. So that's why I started. But over 18 years, like, I am obviously a completely different person now. And that reason has evolved for me, but the program has always been there for me. And it's been there for every stage in my life growing up. That was 20.
That's an amazing story. I mean, if you really think about how you could stick with the program and it meets your needs for 18 years, transitioning through all different types of life events and such, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Our daughter is 22, and, so hopefully in the next 5 years, we'll have grandkids, I started because,
hopefully.
Right. I know, no pressure, but I started Farrell's when our son was a baby, and how cool is that it'll still serve a purpose. That is our purpose now, right? That's why we stay healthy. We want to stay healthy for our future family, stuff like that. So that's definitely, that has changed. The program has not. And so I think sometimes people think like, oh, it's repetitive, it's boring. Well, that's what works. Like, you can't expect to see consistent results if you're consistently changing what you're doing. Like, if you're jumping from thing to thing to thing. And sometimes you have to do that to find what you really enjoy. But at the same time, our elite athletes don't constantly change what they're doing. They find what works for them and they stick with that. They hone it. They maybe do certain, extra workouts when they need to and stuff like that, conditioning, stuff like that. But it's like, that's the big thing. If you can find something you really love doing and that thing can be consistent, then you can change as a person, but the program's still there for you. Right.
That's amazing. And you do have different styles of classes. So it's not like they're coming in every single, it's not like we're doing the same exact workout 6 days in a row or whatever it might be. It's constantly changing.
Yeah, whenever people talk about how overwhelming, like, oh, I don't know if I can work out 6 days a week. And I'm like, it is 6 days a week, but it's so varied. So like, you still get rest days during that week. So like, obviously we are in our program, lower body leg day is on a Tuesday. And so you do leg day on Tuesday. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, that's rest day for your leg day. you know,
Right.
and then leg day is your cardio rest day. So you're still building in rest days because it's so varied. Yeah, we're not just running every single day, or we're not just lifting every single day.
Yeah.
The same muscles. You can lift multiple times a week and still get really good results. But again, you kind of have to have a plan. And with group fitness, you just show up and we tell you what to do,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think, really helpful for a lot of people.
I love that. You know, it sticks in my mind whenever I see you guys, especially today, because we're on the radio show and we were talking about Mark at the beginning. But I think that's an important part of the Farrell's program, meaning that you're surrounded by these incredible stories of people too, that it just opens your mind to the possibilities. Like when you see the videos of all these different national challenge winners, and just take a second to just be like, holy cow, like people are successful at this and they have every reasonable excuse to not be successful at it. Like anybody in their right mind would say, listen, like you've had a terrible life tragedy, take a break from but they overcome and they persevere. And hearing those types of stories too, it's not a regular gym where you're walking in and just getting the physical piece of the equation. You're constantly being inspired by the people around you, and it makes it easier to stay on track. That's one of the things I love the most about this.
I just had a huge light bulb moment. We need to have Andrea back on to talk about this. So
Okay.
Jeff's sister Andrea's joined us a couple times, and she's a therapist. So she's helped us with like ADHD and fitness and stuff like that. But I just had this moment of you explaining that, which is so true. And we know that. That's what I love about it, because I can be a small part of all of these transformations. But Jeff, that's probably why you love doing this so much, because you didn't have those moments growing up in school. Just if you've listened to our show, there's so many just like terrible stories of crashing and burning in group sports in high school. But like, so even when we were talking to Brian at the beginning about the one shining moment, you're like, well, I don't really have one, but we do. We're part of so many one shining moments. So maybe that's why you gravitate so much for it, because you didn't have that for yourself growing up. It was something that was missing
That could be
in your life when you were younger, and now you're constantly trying to continue to fill that bucket, but you've done it in a healthy way, and we're helping other people. But I do love that, because I have so many stories, and you have stories, but I have stories of friends who had struggled. One of our friends, Caleb Pike. So a long time ago at Farrell's, we used to do a step test where you had to step up and down for 4 minutes and check your heart rate just to make sure you were healthy enough to start the program. And he failed the step test the first time and wasn't able to start the 10-week challenge. And then he went home, and most people, we don't see them again. Like, it's just a devastating moment, and it's really hard to get them kind of back after that moment. And he was in his 20s at the time. He went home, started doing stuff on his own, lost about 20 pounds, came back to the next 10-week session. This was a long time ago, but came back and did the next 10-week session. And then through that, him and his wife, Nicole, changed their whole lives. I was there and trained with Caleb for his first half marathon. He continued on, did marathons. He continued on, did triathlons. He did an Ironman triathlon. And I feel like I had a part in that. And that's just really cool. I love those stories. And we have so many of those stories, but
amazing.
Awesome.
And the piece that a lot of people don't understand if they've never experienced it themselves, it's not just doing the Ironman or the triathlon or the half marathon or the 5K or whatever it might be. It's the confidence that comes along with it, because people become better people, better parents, better employees, better business owners, whatever it might be. It impacts all areas of your life in ways that really you wouldn't know until you experience it yourself.
It is.
When you were talking about the consistency about, because we've been doing this for you're going on 18 years. I'm in year 16, 17 right now. It reminds me of Remember the Titans. Brian, have you seen Remember the Titans? Denzel Washington. Okay.
Yeah.
When they're learning the new offense and the coach Yost is like, Coach, maybe we can expand on this playbook a little bit. We got some trick plays we like to use. And he's like, nope, I run 6 plays. It's like Novocaine, works every time. Right? That's like what Farrell's is.
It's true.
We do this.
That's
we do
any successful program.
Yes. 6 plays, works like Novocaine every time.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to use that one.
That's another
really-
one. That's another shirt. We have 2 shirt
Yeah.
ideas from the show.
Yes.
From TV.
Because I know
movies
people,
and
I
TV
like, I want to try this.
Well,
and
there's
try
a
that.
lot out there. And
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with trying new things. But once you find something you like, you just stick with it. And you're not always going to love it every single day.
Right.
But you're going to love the results. You're going to love
But
how you feel.
It's like Novocaine.
Right.
Give it time, follow these 6 plays, and it will work.
And they've won, right?
Yep,
And it
they
did.
won. Yes, with their 6 plays.
Yep.
All right, well, we're going to go to break. We got one final segment coming up with Brian, so stay with us on 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Who are you?
I'm the Truck Fairy.
You mean the Tooth Fairy?
No, Truck Fairy. I appear when someone dreams about winning one of the 8 new trucks in the Nebraska Lottery's Trucks and Bucks scratch game.
Oh, so you leave Trucks and Bucks tickets under my pillow?
No,
Cash?
sorry.
What exactly do you do?
Remind people to play today.
Don't think I need a Truck Fairy for that.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Play Trucks and Bucks from your Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds are 1 in 336,000.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's true for heart health, too. Sprinkling in a few small changes can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or no salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these changes? Join a workshop to learn more about a healthy lifestyle. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more details. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Last segment. We just have a couple more minutes left with Brian. So, Brian, we're going to turn the floor over to you. There's a lot of listeners out there that maybe they're not sure what to do to get started. They've been thinking about doing something. Give them a little pep talk.
Sure.
For us.
Yeah, I think that the biggest obstacle to overcoming whatever might be stopping us towards a healthier, happier life is ourselves. And I was taught this formula. It's not something that I've made up, but it's a formula that I've applied to my life, and it's worked for me. Like, I guess, like you said before, like Novocaine, right? The 6 steps. This is a 5-step formula. You said there's 6 plays, and you just stick to those 6 plays. These are the 5 steps that I've used, and I see many and many, many members getting absolutely fantastic results sticking to something like this, whether they know it or not. And I think, talking through this a bit and explaining it to people could be very helpful in getting started, but then even more importantly, in sticking with the program. So the first part of this is to conceive a vision for yourself. Because if your vision is to just lose 5 pounds or to look better in a bathing suit in the summer, it's really not enough to get you up at 5 o'clock in the morning or to stick with a nutrition program over an extended period of time. So number 1 would be really conceive this vision, determine, a lot of people call it their why, right? Mm-hmm. So if your why is more connected to your family, and as an example, like what I like to do is I keep a picture of my family on here and I'll flash that in front of me before I do my morning workout. And I realize I'm doing my workout for my kids. I'm doing my workout for my family. I'm doing my workout so I could spend healthy time with my grandkids who aren't even born yet, right? So that's more motivating, and that'll get me up out of bed. So number 1, conceive your vision. Number 2 is challenge your beliefs, because as you start working towards your vision, if it's a big enough vision, your beliefs, your current set of beliefs often stand in the way, right? We all have 2 people living inside of us. The one that says, go for it, you can do this. And the other one that's saying, what are you, crazy? Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning or going to work out at 7 o'clock after work. It's too much. It's too intense. It's not too intense. It's not too much. There's thousands of people that are doing this every single day. So challenge your beliefs, and something amazing starts to happen when you challenge your beliefs, right? So when you continue forward on the path, even though in the back of your mind, that little voice is saying to you, who are you to think that you deserve those results that those national challenge winners get? Who are you to think that you're going to have an amazing before and after? But you continue forward anyway, and you push forward. Your beliefs start to shift and change from someone who says, I'm not an early morning exerciser, as an example, to someone who's like, I can't believe how easy it is for me to exercise in the mornings now. I love exercising in the morning. From someone who says, I'm not an athlete, I'm not someone who exercises, not someone who eats nutritiously, someone who says, I can't believe what my life would be like if I didn't eat nutritiously or exercise regularly. So again, step one, conceive the vision. Two, as you start marching towards that vision, challenge your limiting beliefs and replace your limiting beliefs with more empowering, positive beliefs. The next step just happens naturally when you do that. You begin to achieve your goals. The magic starts to happen. The fat starts to roll off your body. Your muscles start to tone up. Your attitude about yourself starts to change. And as you start to achieve your goals, the next step also naturally starts to happen. You naturally start to inspire the people around you. And the same people that might have been naysayers at the beginning, like, you're doing what? A 10-week challenge? Like, what the heck? Are then coming to you and going, what was the name of that again? Farrell's? Let me write that down. What's the phone number? Could you give me the email? Could you do an intro? Right? So as you start to inspire people around you and they say, great job, congratulations. How are you doing that? What are you doing? It builds you up even more. And then you don't go to step 5 yet. You go back to step 1. You don't stop. You create a bigger vision for yourself. As you start marching towards that vision, you overcome more limiting beliefs, replace them with even more empowering beliefs. You begin to achieve more. You inspire more people. You go back to the beginning, and this becomes a cycle. You go around and around and around until you look behind you and you realize that you're now in step 5. You've created the legacy behind you. There's all these people that, because of the example that you set, have been impacted in a positive way. Through your story, the example that you set, more people have stepped into a healthy lifestyle. More people have become positive about themselves, have increased their self-image, their own confidence, all because of the story that you've developed for yourself. Just like you guys impacted me just a few minutes ago by telling me the story about the member who literally did an Ironman, which, if people don't know, that's crazy accomplishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's very inspirational. And that story now, that's something I might tell to somebody else, because it just keeps going and going. That person created a legacy and is impacting people far beyond probably what he even recognizes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was amazing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Like, I'm sitting here listening to this. I'm like, this is a whole nother show. Like, these 5 steps. Like,
yeah.
we could talk about this for another hour.
Yep.
But unfortunately, we're out of time. But I wrote all those down because that's awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Ryan, taking your time out of your Sunday to visit with us.
Yep.
Of course.
Keep changing lives, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thanks. Take care, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.